What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Loud Bostonian. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and I apologize for that. The reason behind it, honestly, is just that there was nothing in the month of January that I really wanted to talk about, and there was nothing I really wanted to see, and that counts both for movies and TV. So, as a result of this, it's been a while since I've done a video, and I want to jump back into it now. Today's episode is going to be an episode of the news this week. So, a few things have dropped so far this week that I really want to touch base on. Both of them are in the realm of DC Comics or DC Comics adaptations into movies. Firstly, let's jump into the Shazam footage that has been shown to people. Some test screenings of Shazam have been out there, and apparently, this is the rumor. Granted, these people all sign non-disclosure agreements, so I have no idea how this news got out there. Apparently, in Shazam, both Superman and Black Adam are seen in the movie. That's pretty cool because Black Adam, who for the longest time, The Rock has been supposedly cast as Black Adam, has been pushing for this role. Supposedly, he's got some scenes in the movie. Similarly, Henry Cavill, Superman, there's been some up and downs with him recently where Warner Brothers isn't committing to making a Man of Steel sequel, and that's really made him mad, and there's rumors that he's going to step away from the role, that they're not really pursuing it. Supposedly, Superman is also in this movie. How would that work, would you say, considering both of these actors haven't been on set? Well, apparently they are body doubling them in to shots in the movie. Apparently the shot with Black Adam that you see in the film, and minor spoilers, I haven't seen the movie, so this is all hearsay for all I know, but when you see Black Adam, he's probably wearing the hood, so you can't make out the face, and it's just going to be someone who looks like The Rock when you see him. Supposedly, it's in a flash sequence that the Wizard shows Billy Batson before he becomes Shazam. Fine, whatever, that's all said and good. And then apparently later in the movie, in one of the last scenes, Billy Batson shows up to school as Shazam to impress, his school friends. Not that they know he's Shazam, but to show up, as the character. And then in tow is Superman. So he shows up to kind of impress everybody at the school. Again, it's not Henry Cavill. It's a body double. Apparently, you just see him from behind, and you see that it's Superman with the cape, and whatever. This is keeping the hope alive that Warner Brothers will get their shit together and actually book Henry Cavill in a Man of Steel sequel. I wouldn't call it Man of Steel 2. I would honestly just call it Superman, because there hasn't been a Superman movie yet. The 1970s Donner films were Superman the movie, and so from there you could literally just call this film Superman, and I think that's what they should do. But anyways, that kind of goes into the whole how do these actors feel about them not being put in these roles. Originally, Henry Cavill was supposed to show up in a cameo, like a full-on acting cameo in this movie, but as a result of them not giving him anything to go on as far as Man of Steel 2, he decided he didn't want to show up. His agent wouldn't let him do it. And that makes sense, because this guy, body-wise and, the overall look, is the perfect Superman, and he deserves a movie. So why would he show up to do just cameos when you're stringing him along like that? Obviously, The Rock hasn't shown up to do any Black Adam work yet, so him not being in this isn't that crazy to me. But the Henry Cavill thing really kind of gets me mad, because the guy wants to be Superman. The fans want him to be Superman. So Warner Brothers, stop fucking around and give the guy his fucking movie. There's plenty of directors out there you could choose from that could make a great one, especially with the success of Aquaman and how Shazam's looking and how Wonder Woman 82 or 84 is shaping up to be. You got some hits lined up here. Give the Man of Steel his movie. That's enough about that rant. We're going to jump right over to the next topic here, and that is Matt Reeves' The Batman. Now, it's been rumored that Matt Reeves wanted to do a younger Batman in a detective story. Batman is the greatest detective of all time in the comics, and he's never had a movie where he was, the problem-solving detective that he's supposed to be. So that's Matt Reeves' angle on this movie. Rumors have come out recently that there are going to be multiple villains in the movie working together to try and basically thwart whatever plan's going on in Gotham. Who knows? Again, the plot's not out there yet. Just these are overall little bits and pieces that Matt Reeves has told us. But the one thing that he said is he wants to go with a younger Batman and tell a story that's set in Gotham in the past. Since he was obviously going for the younger angle, Ben Affleck could not be Batman. There's already been turmoil with Ben Affleck not wanting to be Batman anyways. He wanted to step away even after Batman vs. Superman, but he was obligated to be in Justice League. And it doesn't look like that's going to work out. Ben Affleck has all but said he's stepping aside to not be Batman anymore. So with that, there have been lots of casting rumors that have been going out there, and one of which has really piqued my interest. The person that I had no idea. This person wasn't even in my mind as a contender for this role. But after this story broke that Warner Brothers was seeking this actor out, suddenly that's all I can think about. The person I'm talking about is Rob Pattinson. Yes, Rob Pattinson from the Twilight series, the guy who played Edward Cullen, the guy who was Cedric Diggory in the Goblet of Fire, the Harry Potter movie. He is being sought after to play the young Bruce Wayne. He's one of the top contenders is what I'm told. And I gotta be honest, never in a million years would I have considered this guy to be a front runner for this role. But after I heard this, I can't stop thinking about it. And the more I dove into it, full disclosure, I have seen very few Rob Pattinson films outside of the Twilight series, outside of the Harry Potter. I saw Water for Elephants, which I thought he was very good in. And then I haven't seen anything else. So I did some dives into what the critics' receptions are of his performances and the other movies he's been in. He's a fucking critic goldmine. People love him. The critics have all really respected his performances. Apparently, he really outacts Guy Pearce in one of the movies he does with him. I think it's The Rover. And he's got a movie called, what's it called? Is it The Game? It's not The Game. Good Time. Apparently, Good Time, the guy has a fucking incredible turn. And it's a movie I'm actually planning on watching tonight with my wife. So it's just funny that an actor I never would have considered from a series that, full disclosure, I enjoyed Twilight. I read the books. It hit me at the right time. And I actually kind of enjoyed them. Obviously, the Mormon undertones are pretty lame. But the overall story, I'm a huge vampire fan. So I will read that, even though it's lame vampire, I know. But so I read the books. I liked them enough. I liked the movies enough that I would go and see them. And Rob Pattinson, obviously doesn't stand out in those movies as being a fantastic actor, but his look is perfect for a young Bruce Wayne. It really is. He looks like he'd be a young rich playboy who would have all this money, and he's got enough dark roles that you kind of believe that he could be Batman. Obviously, he's a pretty skinny dude, so he'd have to put on 35 pounds of show muscle to be Batman. But Christian Bale wasn't gigantic; he wasn't ripped. I mean, he got in shape. But the suit goes a long way to show that. I think he'd be great. He's tall. He's got a jawline that would look fucking great under the cowl, and I think he could be a really good Batman. And granted, Matt Reeves is an incredible director. The Planet of the Apes trilogy is so good. I honestly think him directing Rob Pattinson as Bruce Wayne and Batman could be great. It could be the best Batman we've ever seen. And my real question to everybody out there is, as guys who typically, shake off the Twilight movies, something you don't really want to see, chick flicks, that sort of thing, would you be able to get behind Rob Pattinson, who is, he's nobody's first choice for Batman. Would you be able to get past thinking of him as the Twilight character to embrace him as Batman? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women out there that would. I don't know if he still carries the same kind of clout he carried with him when he was in the Twilight movies, but I imagine a lot of women out there would still want to see this guy play Batman. So you're already bringing people in, kind of like what Jason Momoa did with Aquaman. Women fucking flocked to the theaters to see Jason Momoa. Would people flock to the theaters and granted, they're two very different levels of, attractiveness out there, and Jason Momoa's been more relevant for a while, but would women still flock to the theaters to see Rob Pattinson as Batman? And if so, can their, the guy counterparts, the boyfriends are going to get dragged along? It's a hell of a movie to get dragged along to, honestly. If my wife was like, oh, I want to go see a new Rob Pattinson movie, and I was like, I'm not interested in that at all. And she goes, oh, it's Batman. How could you say no? As a guy, how could you not want to see it? It's Batman. But that's my real question out there is, can the male audience who expects these badass guys to play these characters get behind someone like Rob Pattinson playing Batman? I can tell you right now that I can. Absolutely. I think he'd be great. He's got to put on the muscle. He's got plenty of time. Matt Reeves' Batman isn't scheduled to start shooting until, I think, 2020. So he's got over a year, late 2022, so over a year to get in physical shape, which is easy to do in Hollywood when literally that's all you have to do for these roles. So I think it'd be great. I think it would be a great movie. And Matt Reeves, I have total faith in. And if they're telling the story that they could tell, which is, a crime-driven noir-style Batman, and Rob Pattinson was your Batman, and the movie just looks good, I think it's going to put everybody's doubts to ease. That first trailer is going to either get people to be like, yeah, I'm fucking on board, or the people that really hate Rob Pattinson and hate the Twilight movies are just not going to see it. And as a fan of Batman, as a fan of comic book movies, how can you just shoehorn an actor from a previous series in there like that, Ben Affleck made a ton of shitty movies, and he still was, considered a good... Fucking, what's his face? Christian Bale. Christian Bale was in Newsies. It's a goddamn musical about 1940s fucking newspaper salesman. All right? So not everybody... Granted, he did go on to do American Psycho, which just kind of changed the whole perspective of him. But I'm just saying, you can't judge actors based on properties they've done in the past, especially when they were young, to what they can do now. And I think Rob Pattinson could be the best Batman we've ever had. I'll say that right now. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. That's all the news I have this week. I'm planning on going to see a few more movies, planning on going and doing some more reviews in the near future here. Full disclosure, though, I am having my second child in March, so there might be a dip off in that time frame where you won't see me for a while. But I should be back on to do, at least one-on-one reviews of the Captain Marvel and stuff like that, if my wife lets me. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Henry Cavill and The Rock, supposed snubs in Shazam, and what you think about Rob Pattinson potentially being your Batman. Who would you like to see as Batman if it's not Rob Pattinson? There's definitely a lot of great front runners out there. For me now, I can only imagine him playing the role, so I really hope that's where it goes. Thanks for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you later.